Hello, all. Thank you for tuning in today. I want to provide something I think is extremely valuable, a daily divvy cash flow, a daily dividend cash flow. Uh, what I've got on the screen here, instead of waiting to the end of the video or after clicking through advertisements and all that, I'm putting it right on the screen. This is a fiscal quarter. A fiscal quarter has 13 weeks and 5 days, which makes up 3 months on a fiscal calendar. The first month has 5 weeks, second and third month has 4 weeks. And so what I've done is every time a great company pays me a dividend, I log them on my dividend calendar. And so, I might have 10 to 20 companies that are paying me a dividend. And at the very end of the video, I'll show you all the companies, but I wanted to provide at least a company for each fiscal day. Again, most companies pay a dividend quarterly, if not monthly. And so the goal of this video is to provide a great company for each fiscal day of a quarter. So for this grid, for example, the first week in quarter one was the first week in January on a fiscal calendar. And so in week one, on Monday, Walmart paid me a dividend. On Tuesday, Tail paid me a dividend. Wednesday, Burger King and Popeyes paid me a dividend. Thursday, GSK, which owns Tums, paid me a dividend. And Friday, Pepsi, which they also own Frito-Lay potato chips, paid me a dividend. So I won't go through all of them, but I think this screenshot alone, if you put money on each one of these companies, I recommend a small amount, no less than 2, but maybe start out with a share each. And if you can buy fractional shares, put $5 to $10 on each of them. And you will notice that within a couple of weeks, once they start declaring and you're in the loop when it comes to the dividend, you will get paid a dividend every single day. Buffett says, if you're not making money while you're sleeping, you're going to work until you die. And so for me, if I put my money on these great companies every single day, then every morning when I wake up, a great company has paid me to dream. I think it's a great time to pause the video, capture these different stocks. Again, no hoops, nothing to click or like or subscribe to be able to get this. This is the easiest way I can show you to get paid by great companies. So next, I'm just going to jump around on this grid and just kind of break the ice on some of these great companies in no apparent order. I kind of broke down the first week of the fiscal quarter. Again, January, April, July, and October would fall on the first fiscal month of a calendar. And so the second week, you've got Philip Morris, you've got Dole bananas and pineapples. This company makes Oreos. Realty Income owns a bunch of real estate that pay a monthly dividend. I think they own a bunch of Walgreens buildings. Dollar General, the ticker symbol RIO. This is a big mining company, pays a great dividend. Oracle. The third week, you got Foot Locker. The fifth week, you got Cracker Barrel and JP Morgan Chase, which has an absurd amount of money. Lowe's, and this is the Vanguard's long-term treasury bonds. The sixth week, which is going to enter into the second fiscal month, you got British American Tobacco, one of my favorite stocks. I don't personally smoke cigarettes, but I see when someone does smoke one, they're very loyal, and they are loyal till death. And so for me, it's a win-win. If cigarettes are banished, then that's fantastic. I don't have to secondhand smoke any more of it, and people I care about will get their life back. But the probability leans towards they're going to prioritize their money to buy these little cigarette sticks. Then you got MasterCard and American Express, Clorox, bleach. I think that one's a fair price right now. Hormel and Procter & Gamble, a couple construction companies here, Levi Jeans and Starbucks. Intel, which I think is a great price, and Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, Southern Company, Johnson & Johnson, Hershey, Target, Unilever, Molson Coors. They own Miller Lite and Coors. People prioritize beer as well. McDonald's, Bank of America, VT, this stock is so important. It's Vanguard's entire stock market. And so there's a saying that you should buy the whole thing and keep it forever. Mr. Bogle, who started Vanguard, actually said that. Another one by Benjamin Graham is, why try to buy or find the needle in the haystack when you can buy the whole haystack and guarantee the needle? And so VT and VTI both do the same thing, maybe different percentages on all the companies, but they're buying the entire stock market. Just buy this and buy more of it and never sell it, and you'll get a quarterly dividend, and they'll fall in these days. Western Union and Coca-Cola. VOOV is my favorite index. It's the S&P 500, which is America's 500 best companies. But there's 3 filters that vet the 500 companies. And if they meet those value filters, then that index captures them. It's a phenomenal stock. I buy it every day. So this is the grid. If you put $2 on each one of these, it's highly probable you would get at least a penny every quarter. And so if it was every quarter, that means you get a penny on day 1, penny on day 2, penny on day 3. So you just flow in constant pennies. It might sound annoying, but it becomes very pleasant as it grows and grows, especially if you drip, compound the interest. So if you do nothing else and you X out this video, I think that there is a wealth of knowledge just on this little grid. What I'm going to show you next, I'm going to do it very quickly, is, for instance, I showed you Walmart on the first fiscal day of the fiscal quarter. And what I'm going to do now is show you all the companies that paid me on that day. And I'm going to do that for all. And I'm just going to scroll through them, pause the video anytime, snap pictures, whatever you need. This is purely informative, so you can cover the calendar in beautiful dividends. Okay, so what I've got here is a grid that shows all the companies that paid me on the fiscal day of a quarter. And so, again, I'm not going to talk through them. I'm just going to go to each of the weeks so that you can see all the companies and try to come up with a strategy so you can have a bunch of great companies paying you. But to explain this grid, I know it's a little busy. What I've got is, in quarter 1 is in column C. And so basically in quarter 1, January, February, and March, the first fiscal day, these are all the companies that paid me on the first day of the quarter. So Allstate, Walmart, and H&R Block, etc. So on quarter 2, which is April, May, and June, on the first day of that quarter, these are the companies that paid me. Walmart paid me again. You got Kimberly-Clark, a couple others. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through. I'll kind of have some verbiage on a couple companies. But for example, this first week, Monday through Friday, these are all the companies that paid me in quarter 1. And these are the companies that paid me on quarter 2 on the first fiscal week. So if you want to snapshot any of those, you've got a bunch of bonds here on the 3rd day of quarter 2. HP, a company I've already talked about, Burger King and Dole. Some dividend funds are there as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move to the second week. So the second week here, quarter 1, quarter 2, you got a couple cigarette companies paying me on Monday of the second week in quarter 1. Tootsie Roll, GSK, like we talked about earlier. You got Realty Income, oil company here. In quarter 2, this Eric on my grid, I saw it somewhere else, so I put it in red so I can investigate. You got Oreos here. And so anyways, the Dow Jones, it's a good one. Now, there was a holiday for Easter Sunday, so I didn't collect any dividends because the market wasn't open. But you see, my first quarter, fiscal day 10, I do have companies that paid me. So this allows me to kind of size up whenever there's a holiday. A lot of times companies will shift to the next day. So like Realty Income paid on the 11th day because there was a holiday there. Okay, I'm going to go to week 3 now. So there was a holiday, I believe it was Martin Luther King, on the 11th fiscal day in quarter 1. But you can see you got a bank here, Ralph Lauren, Oracle, Keurig, Dr. Pepper, and some others, Rio. FMC paid the same time, the 14th fiscal day on both. That's week 3. Let's go ahead and go to week 4. And I'm going to move a lot faster now. So just take a good look. See if any of them jump out at you that can help you out. Humana and Altra. New Real Estate, Foot Locker, etc. Okay. And Comcast and Cisco. Let's go ahead and go to the 5th week. There's 13 of them total, so I'm going to go real quick here. Here's the 5th week. Again, you can pause the video if I'm going too fast, so you can capture a lot of these like Campbell's Soup and JP Morgan. SPY is the S&P 500. I think the expense ratio is a touch more than Vanguard, but let you do that research. Cracker Barrel, etc. Goldman Sachs, a bunch of bonds. And so now we're done with the first fiscal month. There's 5 weeks in the first fiscal month. So now we're moving to week 6. Excuse me. Here it is here. You got British American Tobacco, MasterCard and American Express, Clorox, like we talked about, Costco. They've got a really cool dividend they pay. I think it's every, after a couple dividends they pay a pretty strong one too. If you look at that pattern, I think you'll like it. Okay, Hormel, Procter & Gamble. Let's go ahead and bump to the 7th week. Again, you can pause at any time to get the names. Roof Chris, Caterpillar. All of these companies have paid me at least a penny, if not in the tens to hundreds. And so it's just flowing in, and then I drip them. So I have drip on, and they just buy shares in those companies. And so it's just getting stronger and stronger. Let's go ahead and go to week 8. There was a holiday on the 36th fiscal day in quarter 1. This is what landed in quarter 2, though. BMW and Starbucks and Citigroup. And so I think that's Capital One. So anyway, this is week 8. Levi Jeans, Cheesecake Factory. Okay, let's go to week 9, fiscal week. So you might, I have to scroll down in a second. Here's the first day. A bunch of companies paid there. And some of them are monthly. So they're paying me, you know, the first fiscal week of the month, if they're paying monthly, or the last, etc. I'm going to go ahead and bump it down so you can see the last remaining. So here's the remaining 4 days of the week 9. Okay, Valero, Budweiser, UPS, etc. Bonds. Okay, let's go ahead and go to week 10. So week 10 here, you got a bunch of bonds, Johnson & Johnson, Haynes, utility company here, Microsoft, Chevron and Target, IBM, Microsoft. No games, no anything. These are just great companies that are rewarding their shareholders for holding on to those shares. Yum owns Taco Bell and KFC, Pizza Hut. So Target landed here on quarter 2, and then I showed you Target a second ago here. So in quarter 1, it was the 49th fiscal day. In quarter 2, it's the 50th. So 1 day bump. But again, you own all these companies. They're going to mesh over each other where you get paid daily and get that good placebo effect. Okay, let's go to the 11th week. We're almost done. Here's the 11th week. 3M paid on the same day. Honda, MetLife, Hershey, a fantastic company. If you research the charitable trust, just like Hormel, that linked with charitable trust, you'll really see something neat there. Kellogg's and Tyson Chicken. Ball, they do a bunch of cans. So I think Whirlpool there. Okay, and then we'll keep going. Unilever, Titleist, TAP, Molson Coors, week 11. Let's go to week 12. We're almost done. So here's week 12. You saw Unilever earlier, but in quarter 1, they paid actually in the 12th week. So a couple days off. McDonald's, if you look at their dividend, either what they paid or increased, it's like 57 years or something of that nature. It's really impressive. Dividend aristocrat. Okay, and you see a bunch of indexes that VT, we already went through that, the entire stock market, a bunch of Vanguards here. Bank of America, Kraft Heinz, WWE, which is wrestling, Lockheed Martin. Okay, let's go to the 13th week. It's going to be a ton here because a lot of these indexes close out in the quarter. So Vanguard, you're just going to see a ton of those paying dividends. All of these are paying just on that 64th day for me, quarter one. So again, you can pause it and get the list down, research them and see if they're at a fair price. And if so, go ahead and put a couple dollars and introduce yourself. And when they drop, you'll celebrate because you'll be able to buy more of them and strengthen that cash flow that comes from them. And here's the last day, Coca-Cola, my absolute favorite company. If you see how they use operating income to service interest payments, it'll blow your mind. It's like 15%, like clockwork. Last time they split was 2012. I believe every 8 to 12 years they split. When they do, they're going to buy back their shares. So I think it's a really neat thing for shareholders. Their main goal is to hide in plain sight, and they do it well. I'll buy their stock the rest of my life. So I know it was a long video, but tons of information. You should be able to cash flow daily. I hope you will join me to buy your freedom. My daily obsession is to buy my freedom. And the way I'm going to do that is have great companies with great employees that service their communities, service their repeat customers, and take care of their employees. I want those companies to pay me often. And I think this strategy will get you started. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.